Then Ascent scales, boss cooldown resets. Some things we're going to talk about today. Be sure to stick around and watch the rest of the video. Hey guys, let's talk about the things to look forward to this winter update. Some of the things we know from the previous roadmap, but I did a little deeper digging. It is said that this winter update is focused on QoL, or quality of life. The first thing we're going to talk about is all the link skills are going to be level 3 links. I will post a chart I made for the future predicted links. There's a trend going from level 1 to level 2, so I'll continue the trend to level 3. Then the next thing we'll talk about is different ways to recover trace items. So not much info about this. They didn't mention recovering frags to restore an item, restoring via a quest, and an item dedicated to restoring items like maybe a restore hammer. They did mention a way to reduce penalty for destroyed items, so maybe less boom rates. Third, we will talk about a rental system for placing your burning items. Sounds interesting. The things I personally have been looking forward to is the new familiar system. It says familiar system reset. That could mean many things, but I assume it means that we can add it to our presets instead of opening the window and then switch it separately and manually. Expanding the back slots and inventory. So we start off with 100 familiar slots, unless you have the legacy slots. Now everyone can expand it. And finally, they're removing some junk lines. Half the lines are junk anyways, but who knows what they'll remove. The next thing we're going to talk about is the progression convenience system. So basically every pre-quest can be skipped if you've done it already. Weekly quests are now daily quests. I think that means the absolute weeklies are going to be dailies. If it was the arcane weeklies, then we would max out in no time. Which wouldn't be bad if you put in the effort, but it sounds too busted for that. And the other thing that they talked about is transferring absols and arcane gear to characters. For reboot, it seems like it would be just like a reg server if we could transfer our old 22 gear to a fresh 200 mil. That was all from the roadmap given to GMS. Now for my deeper digging. I tried to go in order of the events that happen in KMS. The notable ones at least. The first thing I found was the crystal change price. Seeing as how we kept the 180 crystal change, I doubt we're getting this. But if we are for some reason, then basically they want us to have meals that are normal 7 and above. If you want to make more than you currently are. Again, I doubt we're getting this, but who knows. The next major change that KMS got was Assemble, which was mostly the release of Len, but there's more. So Len is a new class that's a bunny girl who plays like a melee bowmaster, pretty much. I won't go much into it, but along with that, we do get Challenger World Season 2. And yes, you can Hyperburn a Len with this. With the Hyperburn Max, you can take it further with any other Hyperburn characters too, to level 270, with the Burning Beyond. Speaking of Challenger World, there will be a Genesis Pass, which will be huge. In KMS, it costed 30k NX. Might cost more here. And you can use it after hitting level 255. You could buy it once per Maple ID, so once per account. With this Jenny Pass, you get 3x the amount of traces, so you'll live faster. You can also do all the missions from Lotus to Vihila with up to 6 players. The only caveat is that everyone needs to pass to party together. And do note that everyone will do 50% less FD, but 6 people living together sounds fun. But while you're doing those bosses that give traces, you're also getting a buff, which I'll post here. And finally, when you finish living, you get a guaranteed box that gives you a guaranteed 3% magic attack or attack, depending on your class. Also, it's random, but the line is guaranteed. Also, Challenger World seems to last 5 months, at least in KMS. There are early leap periods throughout the events, every month pretty much. I say as long as possible to double dip into the rewards for the dailies and weeklies for flags and things. But if you want to transfer early, then you can too. I didn't do the first Challenger World, but the second one I would definitely do. It's the same as the previous one, where you have to solo these bosses, but I do believe this one is a bit harder. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the Treasure Hunter chests. So they remove all the portals, the red, yellow, and purples. And now we're getting treasure boxes. These boxes appear randomly. And you can open 10 per day. And they give you a ton of EXP, which is based on your level. The XP you get depends on how high the box you open is, which is again random. And there's a new type of rune coming out too, the Rune of Blessing. The Rune of Blessing appears after 4 normal runes, and it gives you 200% EXP versus the normal 100%. And it attacks nearby enemies. Monster Park is getting 3 new areas, Serenium, Arcus, and Odium. And here's the EXP it gives. Buff sequence, or actual buffs. You have the skill sequence already, but this one is for actually just buffing. So you can pop a sequence and pop all your buffs you want for bossing in one go. Same thing for training. It's good for me because I always forget like a buff or two. Cooldown reset while entering bosses. Holy shit. I've been waiting for this. So when you enter bosses, all your skills will be reset. So you can enter a boss, buff up, burst, and leave. If you still need more damage, you can also ascend 3 times too. More on that later. Also, talking about bosses, you will see all the debuffs on the boss below the HP instead of overhead, which is kind of nice. Even more quality of life is that you don't need any more materials to enter Black Mage. So all the tiny bosses will stop dropping the materials to enter. You just go in like any other boss. Good shit. Pennant of Spirits will stop accumulating the charges. Basically, anytime you get a Spirit Pennant, will become prepared. Another quality of life is that when you die, you can press interact to revive instead of clicking. I always lose track of my mouse, so this is very nice. They also added an option to auto-distribute your AP when you level. So if you're a warrior, it'll go to strength automatically. The next thing is the Phantom Pot. You have the Wild Hunter Pot and Door Pot. Now we're getting Phantom Pot. Here's the stats. I'm not reading all this. KMS had an event called the Twilight Eve Festival, which we're probably just getting a Christmas event. And now the Ascent skills. Ascent skills are part of the 6-job tree. You can use them up to 3 times max per boss fight. It'll automatically target the boss. And I believe it ignores defense too, so even with like Gloom with the shield, it doesn't matter, it'll go through it. You can spam them 3 times in a row if you want to. It's basically to help chip bosses, like let's say there's 5% left of HP in Dark now, and you don't want to burst. Then you'd pop like Ascent or something. I think that's good enough coverage for now. The next topic is Adversary, but I don't think we're getting that till later. But let me know what you guys think and what changes you guys want to see the most. I did a lot of research and I appreciate it if you guys give this video a like and share it. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one.